Where are you going? We haven't even started.
Hello and welcome back to the Punchlines and Plot Twist podcast. I'm your host, Caleb.
I'm your co-host, Slim.
And today we are going to be getting into our Punchlines recap for UFC Vegas 106 tonight. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. It was a fantastic fight night. My picks did fantastic. I went 9-2 tonight. Unfortunately, my dog of the week, Lisboa, threw me off. And what was the other fight that threw me off that I got wrong? It was
Yusuf?
Youssef. Yep, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Youssef was the other loss I had tonight. How did you do, my friend?
I'd say I did the bare minimum to be considered good.
Yep.
7-4.
Not too bad.
Not terrible. I'm climbing back up there.
Yeah. As far as betting went, though, I didn't do great. I went a little too specific. I got a little too ahead of myself. I got a little too greedy. And I ended up negative for the night. Didn't make any money. But that happens sometimes, even with good picks. But the picks are there, and that's a good thing. That's good signs for future cards.
We're just going to blame it on Bellato pulling out last minute.
Yes, what a freaking bum. My new pick is Paul Craig by submission. I will be betting that whenever they reschedule that fight.
I'm betting on the Bear Jew.
Alrighty, we're going to get started on today's recap. Starting all the way down at the bottom, we opened the night with a women's strawweight match between Tisha Pennington and Luana Pinheiro. This fight went to decision, and it went pretty much exactly how I expected it to go.
Both of us, we both had Pennington by decision.
Yeah, she had a fairly dominant night. Pinheiro did just enough to keep it competitive, but it was 29-28 on all three judges' scorecards, and Pennington pulled the decision out.
All right, the next fight we got is Hyun Sung Park and Carlos Hernandez. That was a really impressive showing by Park to me. Just completely dominant throughout that whole fight. I had my doubts coming up to it. I still had Park as my pick, but had me a little nervous and completely kind of proved my doubts wrong.
Yeah, no, I told you after Navajo Sterling did not fall victim to the curse, I was all in on Hyun Sung Park, and he dominated this fight exactly like I expected him to. It was a very, very dirty submission in the first round, 2 minutes and 26 seconds in. He dominated him on the feet. It was 17 landed total strikes to 4.
We also both had him by submission as well, too.
Yes, we did. It was one of my first prop hits of the night.
Yeah, we started off the prelims of this card pretty strong.
Absolutely. It was
So.
a good start. That was immediately followed up by another complete and utter domination from Denise Gomes over Elise Reed. It was a second round TKO. I'm surprised Elise Reed survived that long. Credit to her for being that durable because she was getting beat up.
Oh, and Denise Gomes has some power. She has that kiss of death they talk about because she put her out cold on her feet.
Yes, she did.
It was gross. That's my lock of the week. That was my first lock.
I wish I would have picked that one as my lock. It was in high debate, and Gomes was definitely worthy of that lock pick.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's talk about your underdog of the week now.
My dog of the week, my female dog of the week, Tainara Lisboa.
And Luana Santos. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It went to, or no, it didn't. It was, submission.
Second round.
Yeah, second round submission by
Luana Santos looked incredible. Way better than I gave her credit for. And just dominated Tainara Lisboa all the way around, and then got the submission at the end. She was
in complete control the whole time.
I believe the first key lock submission in women's MMA, potentially in the UFC history, or not MMA, women's MMA, UFC, women's UFC.
This was the key lock
Yeah.
submission? Damn. I got my fights mixed up. Yeah, that was a dirty, dirty submission. Yeah. That one was end of round 2,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 459.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you thinking about the right fight now?
Yeah, I got the right fight in mind. I was just making
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, no, it was Luana Santos looked incredible tonight, and I did not give her enough credit going into tonight, and I was wrong for that. I will admit that. But something I was not wrong about, because I didn't say anything about it, because we didn't talk about this fight on our breakdown, because we weren't sure if it was an official fight or not, was
I wanted to talk about it.
Yadir Del Valle versus Connor Matthews. This ended in a dirty, dirty rear naked choke in the first round, 2 minutes and 54 seconds in.
Yeah, complete and utter domination. The dude gained a fan. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah. We didn't talk about it, but my pick, once we found out it was an official fight, both of us had picked Yadir, and we were both completely correct in that pick. This guy is going to go pretty far. The Cuban problem is a problem for the featherweight division in the UFC.
Absolutely. And then we had, in my opinion, the dirtiest finish of the night.
If this is not the fight of the night, this is immediately after the fight, so the fight of the night has not been announced quite yet. But if this is not fight of the night, I don't know what is. Or I guess the main card. But this
I don't
is
think that was the fight of the night.
dirty. The knockout in this fight.
Performance bonus, for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah. Jared Gordon and Thiago Moises. I took Thiago. I knew about Gordon.
I took Jared motherfucking Gordon, and I was correct.
Just one straight pipe.
You were sleeping on Gordon,
I was a little bit, yeah.
and he put Moises straight to sleep.
I had like 2 prop bets on him. They still didn't hit, but I got a little too specific with it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would happen that fast. It did. It was, yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I expected it to go into the second round, but I expected exactly what happened. And gosh, Jared Gordon has some heavy, heavy, heavy hands.
Put him straight to sleep.
Moving on from that, the featured prelim of the night was a fight I was screaming from the rooftops that everybody was sleeping on. My man Gabe Green and Mateus Camillo was overhyped, and he was not going to beat this man. And that is exactly what happened. Gabe Green submitted him in the second round. Mateus Camillo, I will give him credit, was better than I expected him to be, and he performed a lot better. He almost had this fight, but as soon as his submission was not successful, he lost all hope, and the fight was over, and Gabe Green took full advantage of that.
Yeah, you could tell he got discouraged after he escaped that, because that was a smooth transition into that triangle. And Gabe Green just stayed calm, popped out of it. Camilo lost his confidence, and it was just Green's fight from there.
Yeah, and up until that point, it was a very competitive fight. The strikes were pretty much dead even. Gabe Green landed 36. Mateus Camillo landed 33. And 2 minutes and 12 seconds of control time to 2 minutes and 30 seconds of control time. Plus, Mateus did have 2 takedowns. But I never lost faith in my man, Gabe Green. Mateus did look better than I expected, but Gabe was exactly who I thought he was. And he did exactly what I needed him to do and got me that submission in the second round.
Yeah, no, that was nice. I did pick that one wrong. It happens. The dude's a dog. I'll admit it. All right, next we got another one I was wrong about. Julian Arosa and Melky Costa. Costa's good. I severely underestimated that man, even though I've seen him a whole bunch of his fights. And Yeah, he just put hands on Arosa. It was just a brutal fight. This is my pick for fight of the night. They both were just swinging the entire time. Arosa's chin held up. He didn't drop. He was just tired, walking forward, slugging it out.
Yeah, no, this fight reminded me of Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway if they both had no gas tanks and were gassed out in the third round.
Yeah.
But I came on this podcast and I told you guys that I was not going to bet against Julian Erosa because he proved me wrong against Darren Elkins. And throughout the week, I just was thinking about it and thinking about it, and I did more film, and I knew I had to, man. I knew I had to fade Julian Erosa, and I was just crossing my fingers I wasn't going to regret it again. And it paid off for me. Milky got the win there. But gosh, it was a nail biter. It was a very competitive fight. Julian Erosa has one hell of a chin, and Milky is
Nice.
a very, very good fighter. But I am worried about that gas tank in a 5-round scenario.
That was a lot of pace, though, too.
It was, but it
That
was
was-
only 3 rounds.
That is true.
And that's why I'm not worried about it for a 3-round fight. That it's fine. I get it. It was very, very high pace. You
but
get tired.
main event.
But a main
potentially.
event in the 4th and then later into the 5th round, I would get a little worried about that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Milky got it done. And that was followed by a middleweight fight that kind of shocked just about everybody. Nursultan Ruzaboyev versus Dustin Stolfus. And Dustin Stolfus shocked the world by making this fight wildly competitive.
Yeah, I don't know how he survived. I really don't. Because Ruzabov has heavy, heavy, heavy hands. He was stunning him and wobbling him with one punch. He just wouldn't put any combos together. I feel like he easily could have taken that.
Yeah.
And he landed like 6 spinning wheel kicks. It was a crazy fight.
24 head strikes landed from Ruzaboyev. But Dustin Stolfus landed 41 overall to Stolfus's 53. He had 5 minutes and 11 seconds of control time to Ruzaboyev's 3 minutes and 21 seconds. He had 2 out of 5 successful takedowns. Ruzaboyev only had 1 out of his 2, and he had 2 submission attempts. He was wildly competitive against a guy that I thought was going to just completely shut him out and put him out in the second round. I knew Stolfus was tough and had a chin on him,
Yeah.
but I thought he was going to dominate him for most of the first round and just his chin would hold out and then it would fade in the second. That's not what happened. It held up all 3 rounds, went to decision, and it was 27-30, 28-29, and 28-29. It was competitive, man.
No, it was. It was a
And
great
it
fight
should not
too.
have been to compare going off of my initial expectations
Yeah.
going into this fight. It should not have been that competitive. But Dustin Stolfus is better than I had given him credit for, and I think most people were giving him credit.
Yeah, it was wildly competitive, and that was, even though I was wrong on I got the pick right. I didn't get my specific prop bet right, but I'm not mad about it at all because I think it was still a great fight.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened to me. My pick was right, my prop was incorrect.
All right. And then the next fight we have was Yusuf versus Myron Santos. I took my boy Santos, and he stuck with me, pulled out the unanimous decision. And I just want to say right now, this is Anderson Silva 2.0 in the lightweight division. He's coming.
Yeah, this was my last incorrect pick of the night. I had Yusuf. I was riding pretty hard on him. And he looked exactly how he always looks. He looked clean. He looked very sharp. He had good defense. But Marion Santos just found the small cracks and crevices of that defense and exposed them. And then was very dominant in the clinch.
Stayed extremely calm throughout the entire fight.
And kept pressure on him the entire time.
Yeah, but he what he did really well too is he refused to fight at Yusuf's pace.
Mm-hmm.
He kept the pace and the pressure that entire fight. Even when he was backing up, he was piecing Yusuf up.
Yeah. It was a great fight from Santos. I definitely will be looking at him a lot closer in the future because of this performance. But, yeah, Yusuf looked good, but just wasn't enough tonight, and definitely lost this fight. But it is what it is.
I think Santos is going to be something special for sure.
Then we had the canceled fight, Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig.
So we can just count that one a win.
And yeah, my bet will be Paul Craig. I know we said it earlier, but
yeah, as soon as we heard that he pulled out, the fight before he was supposed to fight, we both looked at each other and were like, we're picking Paul Craig now whenever this gets rescheduled.
Yeah, especially since the health concern is on the Bellato side. Paul Craig is just going to be continuing to train and stay motivated while Bellato's dealing with whatever he has to deal with, and then getting right back into fighting shape.
It might kill Bellato's gas tank. Paul Craig's is going to get better.
Yeah.
Submission all day. This is my pick. I don't know when the fight's going to be. Paul Craig submission.
I am with you 100%.
All right.
Then the main card. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Man, we both picked Michael Morales, but our bets ended up being you had Burns, I had Morales. I had Morales with over 65 significant strikes was what I needed. He had 58 attempted, 35 landed. It just was a little too early. I had overestimated how much chin Gilbert Burns had left and underestimated Michael Morales' absolute power.
No, you did not overestimate Burns at all. I think Michael Morales legitimately just stepped through that man. That's what he did. I told him too right after it happened. I was like, I knew Morales was going to win. I didn't think he was going to do that, especially to Gilbert Burns too. I don't think anybody expected that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying with I underestimated Gilbert or overestimated Gilbert Burns' chin is just I did not expect him to be able to be put out that quickly and that efficiently.
I think we underestimated Morales' nukes that he carries in his gloves.
For sure. Absolutely.
Because he hit him with one shot that hurt him, and that's pretty much what ended the fight. He didn't give him any space to recover, and it just went south from there.
Yeah, and I mean, up until then, the best competition he had fought was Neil Magny and Trevin Giles.
That's why I had some doubts going into this fight, because
it's just a big step up in competition.
Yeah, I'm not shading Giles or Neil Magny, but going from Neil Magny and Trevin Giles to Gilbert Burns, that's
a big jump.
Yeah, and he made Gilbert Burns look worse than he did the other two, and he made those two look fucking bad.
He finished Gilbert Burns exactly a minute faster than he finished Neil Magny.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Michael Morales is going to go very far in the UFC. He is a true problem. He's got that Spider-Man power. Even though he might be Michael, he's got that Miles Spidey sense and strength, man.
Yeah.
Telling you.
You know what I think would be a really interesting fight? I would love to see, because he's welterweight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him fight Ian Gary Machado.
Yes. Give him Ian Gary, please. I want to watch him knock that dude's head clean off.
In 2 seconds.
Very, very early in that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, man, please. The UFC, Dana and Hunter,
a matchup
please.
They could make, too.
Give him Ian Gary. Feed Ian Gary to the fucking wolves.
I'm going to be really upset, though, because I was just thinking about it. I saw that earlier there's rumors that a Sean Brady-Ian Gary fight is in the works. So if that happens, I feel like the only person really left for him to fight would be, like, Leon Edwards.
See? I don't think it's an issue I think the next fight will be Leon Edwards because I think Sean Brady's going to submit him in round 1, 30 seconds in.
Who?
Ian Gary.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt it. I got Sean Brady too.
Okay.
I'm just saying they have a fight. Usman Buckley has a fight.
Oh, you're
And-
saying for Michael Morales?
Yeah,
is
for Michael
Leon
Morales.
Edwards. Oh,
Yeah.
got you. Okay.
Because I feel like after this fight, he's most definitely going to get a contender in the top 5, especially after a performance like that against the number 8 ranked Gilbert Burns.
If Ian Gary's busy getting submitted and tapped by Sean Brady,
Yeah.
I'm okay with him fighting Leon Edwards and not cleaning his clock too.
Oh God, it might be time for Leon Edwards to retire before they match him up with Morales, dude. That would be one hell of a streak to go on. Getting head spiked by Bilal, right? Oh gosh, wait, Leon Edwards, and then he got, what would you call that? The guillotine he hit on him, or the choke?
Sean Brady.
Yeah, what did he do? It was like a one-handed guillotine,
Can't remember. Hold on,
and he
let me-
outstruck him by like 230 punches or something crazy. He just fraud checked Leon, and then he's got to go against this monster.
Guillotine choke. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a one-arm guillotine
Yep.
choke. It was insanely impressive.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our UFC recap. Let us know how you guys did down in the comments below. What bets did you guys have that hit? If you want to see some of our prop bets and a few of our little parlays that hit, check out our TikTok. It's going to be up on there. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you go and check out all of our social medias. Go to our Instagram, Punchlines and plottiwstspod. In that Instagram, you'll see a link tree up at the top of the bio. Click on that link. It'll take you to all of our socials, all of our TikToks, our Twitter, our YouTube, and our Spotify. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you.